Today, I'm going to share as to how I protect myself from low grade inflammation. Low grade inflammation, as you know by now, is associated with all the major life threatening diseases. And for me, it's a top priority that I do not let inflammation come anywhere near me. So I start with food today. What do I do for food? Most important thing in food is the oil. What oil do I use for making my vegetables and my dal? And how do I choose that oil? What are the factors that I look for? Well, I look for two factors. Number one, the smoke point of unrefined cold pressed oils. And then second one is the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3. Omega-6 causes inflammation, omega-3 reduces inflammation. And the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 has to be less than 4:1. Okay, so now, as far as smoke point is concerned, a smoke point is the temperature at which the oil begins to break down. That means it turns into carcinogenic. Okay, I've chosen an oil whose smoke point is 230 degrees centigrade. Okay, and then I also have chosen an oil whose omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is 3.5 to 1. That means it is better than 4 to 1. Okay, and that oil is cold pressed virgin mustard oil. So which is what I used for my cooking. Now, I am not sure whether the smoke point of 230 degrees is correct or not, because internet is something which industry manipulates. And I have tried so hard to ask a question on internet, even on Chat GPT, as to what is the smoke point of unrefined cold pressed mustard oil, and they say 230 degrees centigrade. I went after GPT. Then I said, what is the smoke point of refined mustard oil? And they said 235 degrees. I said, how can it be? How can the temperature of both be 235? Then he said, yeah, that's right. So it came back with an answer, 254 is the smoke point of refined oil. Now, I don't know whether it's correct or not. But what I do when I cook my food, I make sure that the temperature of that I use a cast iron kadai. It's a very heavy kadai. It weighs about 3 kgs. I cook in that, and I always use a infrared thermometer to know the temperature of my food that is being cooked. So I do all my cooking at temperature below 90 degrees centigrade. So at that temperature, I can use any oil. I can use flaxseed oil, I can use sunflower oil, because the temperature, the smoke point of all these oils is 107 degrees centigrade. But I use mustard oil, okay? And what I do is, I never put first oil, which is the way Indian food is cooked. I always add my spices and my masalas and my vegetable or dal or whatever first, and then when it is nearly cooked, then I add the oil. People say, but then the smell of mustard oil will be there. It's not bad smell. I like it very much. But then if I leave it to cook for another 10 minutes, and the smell goes. So this is how I protect myself from getting inflamed by the method of cooking that I use and the oil that I use. Now, if you want to do something for yourself, here are my suggestions. But you first make a list of all the oils that you would like to use, and then go to internet and find out as to what is the smoke point. Okay, number one. Number two, find out what is so you may get out of, let's say, 10 oils, you may get about 3 or 4 oils where the smoke point is reasonably high. Okay, and then you go and find out what is the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3, and if that comes within the range of 4:1, so you now narrow down your list and then choose your oil and start cooking. And when you cook the food, follow my instructions that I do. cook at very low temperature. Well, this much you cannot do for your body, then how will you protect yourself from not only inflammation but all the major life-threatening diseases? Okay, I hope you like this video. Don't forget to click follow button and don't forget to share this with your family and friends.